Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk about restaurants. This is a topic that I could talk about all day because I love eating out. We could probably classify American restaurants into several different categories. There are fast food restaurants like your typical burger joints like McDonald's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, etc. These would obviously be considered the lowest class restaurants. Then there are normal restaurants that are chains or franchises. These places usually have locations all over the country as well as multiple locations in the same city. Then you have got normal restaurants that are individually or family owned. In the US, we sometimes call family owned businesses ma and ba businesses, so some of the restaurants in this category could be called ma and ba restaurants. Then you have got your high-end restaurants, which would be considered fine dining. These can be really fancy and expensive, and if they are really highly acclaimed, they might even have a Michelin star or two. Needless to say, most people cannot afford to eat at these restaurants too often. One other type of restaurant that's distinctly American is called a diner. Diners are restaurants that sell typical American food like American breakfast food, burgers, sandwiches, steak, etc. A lot of diners sell breakfast all day, so you can order eggs, pancakes at 9 pm if you want. Whenever I go on a road trip, I always look forward to stopping in the middle of nowhere at one of these classic American diners. Because diners have a really American feel to them. You can always find diners off the highway in the middle of nowhere. Alright, now let's talk about tipping in the US. This is something that all foreigners need to know because it's a custom that's different in the US than it is in other countries. When you eat at a sit-down restaurant in the US, you are expected to give a tip for the service you receive. There are no exceptions here. Even though it's not mandated by law, it's an unspoken rule that all Americans abide by. You have to tip your waiter, whether you feel like it or no. So now you might be wondering how much you have to tip. Until recently, 15% has been the standard tip at most restaurants, but in the past few years, they have been trying to raise this. Nowadays, many restaurants expect 18% or more, which I think is ludicrous. I always give 15%, and this is still acceptable, but there is definitely a visible effort on the part of restaurants to raise this percentage. So be aware of this if you are traveling to the US anytime soon. Lastly, let's talk about the common expressions we use in the restaurant environment. When you first enter the restaurant and talk to the host, you normally say how many people there are in your party. So you can say, "Can we have a table for two, please?" And to order food, you can say a few different things. You could say, "I'll have the cheeseburger," "I'll take the cheeseburger," or "Can I have the cheeseburger?" You can use any one of these phrases and just substitute the word cheeseburger for whatever dish you are ordering. If you want to ask the waiter for something else after you have already ordered, you can just use the phrase, "Could I have?" So, for example, you can say, "Could I have another glass of water, please?" And one more note, in the US, you don't ask for the check when you are done eating. I know this might seem weird, but it is a custom. The waiter brings it to you without asking. That's all for today. Just leave a comment and tell me what your favorite type of restaurants and what your favorite dish you want to order every time.